grateful to our sponsors, Kelly Stafford with Stafford Tree Service, and also Kow Cow Manure. If you need your trees trimmed locally, remember Stafford Tree Service at staffordtreesvc.com. And please visit Kow Cow Manure, that's Kow. Remember, both of the contact details are in the description below. Hi, I'm Stan DeFreitas for the Ask Mr. Greenthumb Gardening Segments. One plant that's an herb. Now, I like herbs and I like vegetables. And I think basil is one that is almost a must for anyone that's growing herbs in your backyard. You can use it, it's high in vitamin C, it's great for its aroma, it has the ability to be used as a pesto, and it's also one that's been around probably being used for about 5,000 years. So we think it originated in India and in the Orient, but it certainly spread all around through history. In the Greeks, they talked about it being the king. And of course, the Romans also used it as part of religious ceremonies, and the idea that it was good to eat. So you too can have basil. If you want to make your own pesto, you want to have something used in salads, you want to use something to add a little something different to your sandwich, you could add a couple of leaves, and all of a sudden you get that bright basil flavor. The basil is a beautiful green plant, and it's relatively easy to grow. Now, they will tend to die off in a season. So if yours does, well, I wouldn't be too upset with that. I have had them last a couple of years, but to be brutally honest, that's usually unusual. They probably will last just that one season. If they get too dry, they'll die. If it gets too wet, they'll die as well. So it's a little bit pickier than some, and yet, I wouldn't say it's nearly as tough as rosemary, but it is probably, no more work than a tomato plant. But by saying that, I would say tomato plants have their share of problems too. Occasionally, you're going to have some leaves that look a little bit funky. And I would take the alcohol wipe and I would clean off your cutters so you're not going to spread any disease. I'd come back in and find a logical spot where you want to take it back to, and I would trim it. Now, you then can take this plant, this part of the plant, and you could put it directly into water and make that your growing medium. Or I often use a little bit of rooting hormone. It'll usually be called indole-butyric acid. Root tone, which you can buy at almost any nursery, garden supply store. And if you take that cutting and you dip the end of it on that, well, you'll find that it's easier to root. So you can have more plants than just one. You go out and buy the one and you can start a bunch of them so that you can be the basil king or queen in your neighborhood. Basils are a good plant as far as near full sun to partial shade. I would say improve the soil, add that peat, add that cow, really make a good mixture of soil, and you will find that it will really respond well. You may want to add some perlite so it has good drainage, because if it sits in water, now you may start it in water, but it won't stay in water forever. You're usually going to want to move it into a soil mix that is a good homogenized mixture of perlite, vermiculite, peat, cow manure. Really make that good soil and you'll have better results. Space them so they have some good airflow. You'll have a lot less fungus problems, and usually you have a lot less mite problems as well. When plants are right on top of each other, it's easy for the little critters, if you will, mites, aphids, and other things to jump over and start working on the nearby plant. So giving space is almost always a good thing that most of us don't think too much about. Improve that soil, make sure it has a good amount of sunlight, and basil can be used in your salads, or you can put it into tea. You can use it 100 different ways. Remember that new videos will be dropping on your favorite social media platform every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. Get your garden group to join it as well. And if you've got any questions or comments about how you like basil or any of your other plants in your yard or garden, go ahead and leave them down below, and we'll be using those in future shows. Once again, thanks for watching.